Hello, welcome back. Here's another quick Star Wars miniatures video on who does it best. And I decided this one I want to do super stealth. In the game there are 4 commanders that can grant super stealth to a variety of different characters, different conditions, but super stealth is a lot of fun because unlike regular stealth, if your character's in cover, they cannot be attacked unless basically you're adjacent to them. Super powerful, makes it really hard to get to these shooters and be able to deal with them. And it's fun that there are 4 characters that can distribute this among various units in their team. So I'm going to minimize myself quite a bit in the bottom corner here because of the text I want to be able to talk through, but let's jump into it and see who we got. So the candidates are, I can never say her name right, but it's Moff Nina, I think Calixt or something. Gotta forgive me on that one. Commander Bacara, the Rebel Commando Strike Leader, and Nom Anor from Yuuzhan Vong. So let's see which of these ones all have to offer. So Nom Anor. So his condition is that characters in your squad have to have stealth to gain it. That's it. So basically everyone who's Yuuzhan Vong, any stealth characters, they gain super stealth. That's really nice. It's very far-reaching. You're not constricting people from getting it. Some added bonuses though that people get. So they also get self-destruct 20 if they have stealth. You also have Uglith Masker, which is at the start. You can choose, at the start of the game, you can choose one non-unique ally, and they get stealth too. It'd be really fun if it was a unique ally, but still, you can do some fun things with this. So there's some good things. The condition's great. It's basically any character with stealth. It's a little limited because Yuuzhan Vong doesn't have too many people to do this with, but there are a couple options, such as the Advanced Scout. I think Yamakar's in there too, I believe. And then you have all the stealth characters in Fringe, and there's many you can choose from. And then I do love that they all get you. It's really nice because if you have super stealth and self-destruct, it means characters have to get next to you, they have to kill you, and when they do, they're going to have to take damage. So it makes it really tricky to deal with. In these kinds of situations, it might be better to take Nom Anor out first and then take care of everybody else, but that can get pretty dicey with how you people put their squads together. So off to a really good start. I really like this a lot. So let's take a look at Bacara. So Bacara, his condition is characters in your squad with stealth and Order 66. So that's not too bad. There's a fair amount of characters with Order 66 and stealth, but it is pretty limiting. So no fringe characters. Republic Commandos, Marines. There's a variety of. We'll get into them a little bit later, but there's a few different characters this includes. But it is a bit of a bummer because that is pretty constricting. The bonus is that troopers with Order 66 get plus 10 damage against adjacent enemies. This isn't just people with stealth, by the way. This is just all troopers with Order 66. So it's interesting. It's kind of like a mini anti-stealth power if you get up to characters with stealth. It's a nice for anti-adjacent thing. So for example, if you have stealth on your troopers and characters come up to attack you, to knock you out, to get rid of you since you're in super stealth, you can do more damage to them. So it's kind of like almost like a defensive play to be able to take care of people that are trying to get rid of you in your super stealth. So very interesting, not crazy huge, but definitely very solid. And then elite clone troopers, they gain stealth as well, and thus they gain the super stealth. So I won't get into this side too much, so a bit limited unfortunately, but a lot of fun. And the Rebel Commando Strike Leader, so conditions, so it's commandos in your squad with stealth. This is also pretty constricting. However, the keyword is commandos because the rebels do have a lot of commandos, and there's like 1 or 2 stealth. There might be 1 or 2 commandos in Fringe that might apply too, but for the most part, you do got a fair amount of options that apply, and then you also have Luke Skywalker as well, who's a good one. So probably the most constricting in my opinion, maybe, but not too bad. And then the bonus is the commandos in your squad with grenades 10, they get grenades 20 instead. So that's grenades 20 can be a little bit fun. Last but not least is Moff Nina Calixt. Again, apologize for the pronunciation. I've never bothered to learn it. So the condition is again like Nom Anor, characters in your squad. So fringe characters, Empire characters with stealth, you name it. So this is the best of the best condition. And then characters in your squad, including this character, they get plus 10 damage against enemies with stealth. So this is kind of where I actually mixed up with Bacara. This is kind of an anti-stealth power. So you got super stealth, and this helps you maybe deal with people with stealth a little bit better. Let's see what options we got here. So Nom Anor, he can do this with Advanced Scout, Agent Officer, Yamankar, basically any fringe with stealth, and then literally any non-unique fringe or Yusun Vong character using, like for example, the Rancor, using Uglith Massacre. So lots of options overall, but not too bad. It's a little limiting, unfortunately, for his own faction, but there's so many characters in Fringe that apply, so it's okay. Clone Commander Pakara, you don't actually have too many. You have the Elite Clone Trooper, the Galactic Marine, the Republic Commandos, and the ARF Trooper. Please let me know if I miss any. ARF Trooper's pretty good, actually, to give this to. Republic Commandos are nice. Definitely Zev, that can be a nice one. Galactic Marines are alright too. Elite Clone Troopers, not so much. So very limited options, unfortunately, in this case. But they're nice. They're not bad. And then Rebel Commando Strike Leader, you do got quite a few options here. So the Pathfinder, the Dracelian Commando, the Rebel Commando, the Veteran Rebel Commando, the Elite Rebel Commando, and then last but not least, Luke Skywalker Rebel Commando does count, has stealth, and is a commando. And this alone helps Rebel Commando Strike Leader, even with some of those conditions, just be huge. Just giving Luke Skywalker Rebel Commando super stealth is very strong. So a good set of characters, some of them not so useful, but pretty good ones. And then last but not least is Moff Nina. She does the Scout Troopers, Shadow Stormtroopers, which are great. Nogri, Storm Commandos, fantastic ones right there. The Shadow Guard's really sweet. The Nogri Commando is really good too. Erica benefits, that's a really good one that people don't think of too often. And then any Fringe with stealth, which can be fantastic. So how am I going to do this verdict then? I think kind of reviewing the characters they benefit and the conditions stipulated therein. Number 4, I have to do Clone Commander Pakara. Really cool character. Definitely maybe like one of my favorites when it comes to, like, definitely not the best subjectively, but I've always had a lot of nostalgia for Clone Commander Pakara, but way too limited. You only affect 4 characters, and then your bonus is nice, so if people do get next to you, you can maybe deal with them faster a little bit, but otherwise too limited, but still a cool mini. This was a tough one for me. I think you could make an argument for sure to do Rebel Commando Strike Leader at number 2 because its effect on Luke Skywalker, and that's totally valid. The only reason I did this is just because I put a lot of emphasis on how constricted it is. Like, you can only affect like 5 or 6 characters, and they are good characters to affect, but at the end of the day, I thought, let's put it number 3. That means Nominor is going to be number 2. And Nominor, the reason I like Nominor is just, I love the idea of giving it to basically any Fringe character and then choosing any non-unique character to give stealth to, give super stealth to. They all have they'll have self-destruct. I just think that this is so much more interesting, whereas with Rebel Commando Strike Leader, you can affect like Luke Skywalker, which is great, and then you can affect some Rebel Commandos, the Elite Rebel, Veteran Rebel Commando, Elite Rebel Commando, excellent options. But with the Nominor, you have all the Fringe options. You can choose anybody in Fringe to be super stealth, and when people try to kill you, they blow themselves up. For me, maybe it isn't that way, but I just think that's a little bit better, but it's just me. But if you say number 2 for Rebel Commando Strike Leader, I won't argue one bit. And that means last but not least is Moff Nina Calixt. I mean, in Empire, she has a lot of great options to give it to already, and then she got all the Fringe options as well that Nominor has, and then has some fun anti-stealth kind of things going on too. But there's some great characters in Empire that you can give this to. Like I mentioned, Erica, Storm Commandos, those are fantastic ones. And she pairs well with other commandos, like, of course, Thrawn is a fantastic one to throw in there. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please like, subscribe, definitely comment down below. And I want to hear your thoughts on these super stealth commanders. What's your thoughts on them? Do you guys agree with this verdict? Would you swap 2 and 3? If you did, I wouldn't mind it. But I think for me, 1 and 4 are definitely probably in the correct position. So until next time, have a good one.